advancing on to the final spot in Diamond Division, qualifying, joining 7 others, 8 total, to compete cycle number 1 starting next weekend in what should be a great kickoff to the regular season of HON Tour Season 4. Really excited to get to that point, but again, we got one more day now to decide it with these 4 teams remaining. Excited to be here. With that said, I do apologize real quickly, getting off to a little bit later to start, obviously jumping into a little bit later in the draft of the first game. Having some stream issues, apparently I had to restart it and whatnot. Hopefully it comes up here. I had the stream up about 20 minutes ago, but for some reason it wasn't actually showing up. So I changed servers and everything. We should be good. Anyways, the point is, though, we got a series ahead for you guys, and the one that we're going to be covering here is Me R Russ versus Ringers here in a best of the 3. The other series that is going on is actually Russian Dargons versus Revolution. And of course, we'll keep a very close eye on that one, as the winner of that will play the winner of this later on today to then decide that one and final team. But so that's kind of the presentation of what to expect here today. As you can see, it definitely should be some good HANA. With all of that said, I am joined by my co-caster today, the one and only Snewy, going to be joining me once again. How's it going, Snewy?
Awesome. Beautiful day here. We got 2 teams that, well, let's put it this way. Gold isn't really an option for these guys. They both definitely want to make it into the diamond. Everything else would be a disappointment for them. So it's safe to say that they're going to bring their A game here today. And we can see the draft already undergoing. Looks pretty standard, actually, bringing out their core heroes. That's safe to say. I mean, Certa's on the Tremble, known for playing a very aggressive one. And then we have the Grinix as well, that we have seen a couple of times, actually, here in this HON Tour qualifier.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, with that said, Mar, actually, different guy over here. I guess he's one that is really known for playing Grinix quite a bit. And again, as you pointed out, we have seen it before and do pretty well with it. You know, he's kind of, we were even talking about that a little bit yesterday. We saw it yesterday as well on another team. And how I personally really expect to see him, honestly, a little bit more even. And I'm not surprised to even see him. It seems like he has, again, been doing pretty well. But the overall lineups that we have, it's Chipper, Tremble, Grinix, and Parasite now for Mar. We got Swiftblade, Glacius, Cthulhu Font, and then there's the Magnus pickup coming out right there. So that's how things are looking. Okay, they did Parasite. Okay, they swapped around picks. I was actually a little confused there. They picked up they had Parasite. I thought they picked it up after Cthulhu Font, but that was beforehand. So anyways, overall lineups, though, what do you think here, Snewy?
I'm surprised that Magnus made it through the second bands. Not used to see Magnus 4th pick. I mean, he's usually like that 2nd pick material. I mean, especially when you pick up a hero like Grinix here on the Legion side, I feel like that's the kind of hero that you can wait with until 4th or 5th pick, because it's pretty safe to say that the enemy team is not going to pick it up. So I feel like you could maybe value a little bit other heroes beforehand. Or wait, when did they pick Grinix? Was that? Yeah, that was the 3rd pick, right?
3rd pick, I believe. I did have to turn a little bit later. Actually, I don't know. I joined with the 2nd tier band, so.
Yeah, it was. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're going to finish it up with Andromeda as well. I don't like Andromeda together with the Tremble. I don't see the reason for why we want a low-range support, and I don't really feel like Tremble is the kind of hero that you want to swap out either. Like, if you swap him out, it's going to take ages for him to actually get back into the fight once more. Sure, you can use it as like kind of that escape factor, but that's not really the kind of thing that you want. You kind of want to use it as a positioning thing as well. As, for example, a Klags, like, just put him on a safe distance where he can out-attack from. And Tremble, that's not going to apply. So I would say the Hellborn team got a way more solid draft, at least in my opinion. Yeah. I feel like the Legion team, if they lose the laning phase, there isn't really that comeback factor as the Hellborn team has.
All right, well, that was interesting. Oh, my gosh, I was I was wondering what the hell just happened right there. I actually was in the other HON Tour lobby as well, and then all of a sudden it actually shot me into the other lobby right there because their match was just starting. So that was a little funky. Okay, so let me jump into the correct match here. I believe they were just loading in as it shot me out. So, yeah, here we go. Let's jump into the right match there. All right, off to a great start, I can see. It does look like the stream's on, so that is all good. Okay, we should be good to go here as soon as I can actually load into this game. But so, yeah, that Dr. Repulsor, I believe it was, to finish it off.
Yes, it was. Not sure where he's going to be located. I would assume that he's going to be in the carry role. Yeah, he's going to be played by Fibali here, so he's probably going to be in the safe lane. Then have Glacius babysit him, Magnus in the mid. Then we have a Swiftblade, Suicide, and a Cthulhuphant in the forest. unless they want to go for an offensive lineup with Cthulhuphant, Swiftblade, and Glacius, that could be an option as well. I think the Doctor Repulsor should be fine versus the Grinix. Shouldn't have too much of a problem boxing him out, at least in the early levels. I'm gonna just reconnect or recall Skype. It's a little bit buzzing for some reason. So, yeah.
All right, well, he does that here. So, okay, jumping back into this game now. Again, the other series, we'll keep an eye on that one, too. So, Quincy not here for the time being. He may actually join us for the second series. Had something come up, though, so gonna have to take care of that. But hopefully we'll be able to join us for the next series. But, again, really exciting time. And, I was actually, just before this game, I was looking at some other on-streams going on. Haxerin happened to be streaming. Of course, Haxerin, yeah, he's back once again. He's currently playing with Fresh, formerly known as Druids, back to the Fresh name here. And, of course, they're one of the 5 invited teams, and he saw me in the stream. We started talking a little bit, and I was just talking if he's excited for the season, and he was, man. He was pumped. He was saying how they've actually been scrimming quite a bit, and they've been pretty successful, and they're anticipating a lot, and also a huge fan of the format. And again, it really goes back to that. There's just that's why it's such a win-win for everyone. The players going to play a lot of good Han, and really that's what it comes down to. We all love this game, right? And the players themselves, that's what they're playing it for, because they like the competition. So it's a lot of competition with the group stages, especially. Really excited to get that started next weekend with Psycho #1. So props to Haxerin streaming. With that said, need more Han streamers. And activity
There's going to be a lot of matches or tournament games to be streamed and casted. I mean, even in Afterhand, like you don't have to do it live, but I mean, as Quincy was doing, like during Hunter Season 3, covering all the games that weren't covered by Huncast and other community streamers. So that's a great tool for this season as well. There's going to be plenty of material for the one that want to practice and look into strategies.
Absolutely, and definitely with that, guys. Again, the resources are there. If it's really nowadays, especially, it's really simple to start streaming. Or even just simply record, and as you pointed out, with all the replay access, even at the worst case, you are able to do that. But all right, we got this game now, and we are developing now as far as the lanes are concerned. The Hellborn side, Cthulhuphant is heading down here now. I'm curious about that, where exactly what was going on here. But Swiftblade's heading towards the top lane for the time being, almost as if they're waiting to see what the other side is doing here. But now Panny, by the way, playing Swiftblade. That's also a little interesting. Usually more of the main support role, but...
Yeah, he's been taking over the Suicide role a little bit since Teltuk is on vacation or something during the summer. He was mainly the Suicide back when they were called the Team Disband. But now in his absence, of course, Panny here is stepping up and taking care of that instead. And Henk is still here, playing the support instead. Friend of Slaskidir, I know, from Denmark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this team, again, we casted them yesterday, actually. They ended up losing the series, of course. That's why they're here, 2-1 to... Who did they play? They played RTT, or RAT, that's what it was, Sana Esports, or whatever they are. So Sana Esports and Chopstick Gaming, of course, the two teams that qualified yesterday. And now, again, the one more team qualified today. But Ringers, Panny wasn't here yesterday, though, so is here today, though, and competing, trying to get them to qualify and get back to that familiar territory that at least he and a couple of these other players, of course, Sasuke and Fibelli, and obviously even St. Rock's, definitely players that have that diamond experience. Hexton, I honestly don't know, personally, how much experience he has at that top level, but I'm sure a solid player nonetheless. Anyways, it is going to be that aggressive pseudo-tri-lane, though, coming out with Glacius down here to support the
and look at Glacius. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, they could try to go for a Cthulhuphant gank here, but he needs level 2 first. I guess that's what they're waiting for before they show off the Glacius. Yeah, Centrox hits level 2 there, but Andromeda senses that something is going to go down, seeing as Glacius is not at the top lane. So he's going to play a little bit more careful, and, well, gank attempt kind of failed.
Yeah, unsuccessful right there as a result. I mean, definitely could. He set up a pretty easy kill on Andromeda if she gets even remotely out of position. Obviously, it's a case that not much Tremble can do, and Swiftblade Glacius, that's just one of those classic TMM dual lanes, isn't it? I mean, it's just that idea that the slow on top of the stun and then a spinning Swiftblade, one of the strongest level 1 abilities, of course, in the game for getting a kill. So, yeah, you need to be very careful, obviously, even at the high tier level of going up against it. Cthulhuphant, though, not really too interested in setting up any ganks just yet. Well, probably has a lot to do with positioning of the lane, and simply put, he wants to continue to farm and also harass Parasite quite a bit. Keep his life difficult. Pretty important, of course. Heading bottom now. We'll see.
I don't think they're going to be able to set anything up from this. it's going to be too risky almost. I mean, they could of course dive the tremble. I mean, but they're going to take tower damage at the same time, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be... Oh, Parasite is going to come in instead with a Wild Hunter.
Here we go. Jump on Glacius first. There's a spin onto our Andromeda, though. Somebody's going to die. It's just who's the matter of first. Andromeda, no, barely lives right there. Glacius trying to juke through the trees. He will be successful. What a juke right there into the trees. Great hero blocking coming out from Sandbox. Glacius runs back in, though, puts the freeze out, and he ends up going down. So he basically sacrificed himself trying to simply save Swiftblade right here, and it might actually work out in the long run. It looks like it is.
Are you sure? I mean, there is going to be another... Oh my god, the invisibility rune. Are you kidding me? If he gets...
No!
Oh!
The rocket from Chipper connected right there, and then he ends up getting hit by the Comma Stun, but you're right. The Invis rune. If that was a haste rune, maybe he would have lived.
That was a beautiful rocket, though, by Chipper. I mean, you got to give him credit for that. I mean, that was the difference maker right there. Otherwise, Swift would have lived.
Yeah.
So, very well played by Dominator in the mid.
Very good heads up and setting up a second kill. So, but again, that goes back to Glacius too. He really did sacrifice himself to simply try to save Swiftblade after making a great escape, only to die unfortunately in the end. So the 2-0 start right now for Mar. That's got to be feeling pretty good. And Certus on his very comfortable hero, of course. He's got to be, feeling extra good now as helping with that GPM. We did see Certus in the series against. Russian Dargons, I believe. He did have some troubles on the Tremble. They did a good job of addressing him at least, so that's something that, of course, you want to do. And in this case, they're making a point of it with the aggressive pseudo trail lane.
Yeah. Swiftblade is level 3 now, so it's probably going to be problematic for Swiftblade or Tremble. I mean, I feel like every time he goes up for a last hit, they should just freeze him and use the spin. I mean, just for harassment. He got some blight so he can regen up, but I still feel like they need to put pressure if they're running this offensive dual lane. Because as you can see, I mean, he's still farming 260 gold per minute, and that's a little bit thanks to the assists, of course, but it's also the fact that he's getting a lot of last hits. And Andromeda is not even nearby, so, I mean, as you can see there, I mean, he's even pounding on the Swiftblade with his out attacks from time to time. I mean, look at that. I mean, he's up hitting the Glaciers. I mean, they should just punish that. You cannot allow him to do that.
Yeah, that's with the Iron Shield to mitigate some damage, but exactly, it's more so the point of it. Don't want to just let him feel very comfortable as Philippine.
Saint Trox, yeah.
He's kind of getting a little too far there, though. Comma Stun does connect despite the trample going off, but it stunned Tremble in the process, and actually will survive. He also happened to have an illusion rune he bottled up. Chipper was also rotating over, so some good time being used by the Hellborn side. Really not
what is
much out
Magnus
of it.
doing? They're gonna commit to this. Certus is in a little bit of trouble into Tremble. Probably not gonna be enough for a kill though.
Parasite, yeah, he should be fine though, unless some good hero blocking from Agnes. The leech comes out. Oh my god, what hero blocking! But it's still not going to be enough. Pro Marine's able to sneak out of there.
Lava Surge up in 1 second.
Oh wow, yeah, no, they're going to keep going. You're right, and Swiftblade gets the kill there, diving really deep at only 5 minutes in. In fact, now Andromeda's in trouble, and she is going to fall. As not much more she's going to be able to do. Panny gets a double tap out of it as they dive past the secondary tower this early on in the game. That doesn't happen often, but hey, it proved to be the right decision here.
Yeah, well played by them actually committing to that. I did not think they were going to be able to get that kill, but yeah, getting 2 Lava Surges off on the Parasite's going to secure the kill and get another one on Andromeda. Certus is farming though at the bot lane during that time, and Shipper was farming in the mid as well, so not the worst thing in the world for the Legion team. No, never mind. Glacius bought the Dust instead. Interesting. Why did he buy Dust? I mean, he desperately needs his Marchers, I feel.
Wow.
For the
I was actually watching it the whole time. I honestly didn't think he was going to get the kill, but you really cannot underestimate the guy's damage, man. It's bottom lane. Glacius, he'll go down as well. Now Swiftblade in some trouble. No, he's going to be fine. Cthulhu also deciding to run over, though. That was probably the wrong decision right there. He ends up getting taken out. A double tap for Dominator as Chipper rotates in to secure that double tap of his. The movement's real from the middle lanes here.
I can't believe that they actually got those 2 kills from a Shipper with red Marchers only and no stuns. That's yeah, that's very beneficial for Shipper. I mean, he must be feeling really good getting 2 easy kills for really no effort at all.
But yeah, top lane, different guy, man. Again, there's a reason why this Grenix is pretty respected. He just simply chased down Dr. Repulsor, and he did a good job too. He made a point where he was riftstocking to try to survive, and Doctor probably thought that he was just riftstocking away because he was very low. But then he went back in, figuring that his damage was going to be enough. He did a Shadow Step follow up, and again that Nether Strike passive, it really adds up this early on, especially Magnus in the meantime bottom lane. A rough Jimmy channel, but they must have seen it right there. as well as avoid the trample from Cthulhu Fawn, so they are going to be fine. And now they're setting up the turn kills. Once again, Dominator's down here with the rotation, looking to secure something. Cthulhu Fawn, though, good job hiding in the trees right there. Glacius, however, going to get caught out. He'll end up falling, as now Swiftblade is going to fall back. Cthulhu Fawn got hit by the Comet, but he was in the trample once again, and is going to survive. So, but the rotations, this Chipper, he's on top of it.
And he's doing some really good ones. I mean, he was following the Magnus in this case, but that was also like it was a very high-risk eruption from the Magnus. I mean, it could have worked out beautifully, but at the same time, I mean, I think Andromeda's Aurora was actually giving vision as well, because he was using it next to him onto the Cthulhu at the same time. So a little bit unfortunate at the same time, but yeah, Legion team, they are doing a really good job in securing the farm for that Tremble down in the bot lane, who's now the top farmer in the game.
Yeah, not by much. It's overall not a whole lot of farm going on in this game. That's what I feel like usually happens, though, when it's such an action-packed game. I mean, so many hero kills being farmed that obviously not a whole lot of just PvE going on, being able to sit back and farm those creeps. But yeah, him, Dr. Pulse now up there, you see Chipper. Yeah, they're all in really similar areas for the time being. We'll see.
Oh, top lane.
Anybody starts taking off.
Oh, he used the level surge a little bit too late. Oh, that was a nice disjoint, though, with Steam buff.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I saw Dr. Pulsar also disjoint the Shadow Step with his ludicrous speed, so I guess it's an ability. I didn't think it would have been, but that makes sense, because it is a cast time. You know, he jumps in the air towards you, so you are able to avoid it if you're quick enough, or if you happen to be in that, doing the animation anyways. But Chipper going the Ghost Marches here early on, wants to continue that aggressive style, and I think that's pretty routine, of course.
Oh my god, once more, Shipper. I mean, if he just grips him now, right now with Boris, if he just entangles him or whatever that spell is called on Boris, then it's a kill. I don't know why they're not going for it.
Well,
Trample is busy trying to get down with Swiftblade instead.
Yeah, I think Boris was actually harassing Cthulhu Fawn and Glacius in the meantime. They get Cthulhu Fawn Swiftblade able to port out, but they also get Glacius. And guess who gets another double tap? It's good old Dominator on the Chipper. So, sure, they didn't get maybe the main target they wanted in Swiftblade, but they get the two supporting cast around him. So, still feeling pretty good about the overall outcome there of what happened.
Yeah. Really good job by Shipper once again. Just porting it down there, getting those kills. That's, yeah, once again, I mean, it's without any stuns at the start. I mean, now he got the Ghost Marches, so he can pretty much just run up to Glacius and just pick him down, as you saw right there. I mean, that's like, if you go for an offensive Glacius, then you need to be really careful. You need to prioritize getting those Marches as soon as possible. But
yeah.
So far, he cannot find the farm, and Magnus in trouble in the middle lane. He's going to play a bit greedy. He had a level search. He could have ported up to the safe, but he didn't see Andromeda, and he gets a Comet Stun to the face.
Well, Chipper is definitely heroes in the game that, of course, are more known for that snowball, and if they get it, they become very, very dangerous, and Chipper is definitely one of those. He's getting some great farm here. The levels are adding up pretty nicely, and that's scary news for the Hellborn side. And you know what? This Legion team is pretty much snowballing at this point. Tremble, he gets the kill, sure enough, on a Swiftblade, as you're pointing out. Certus now 1-0-6 on Tremble, thus farming 340 gold per minute himself. So, again, I don't see it really exploding necessarily and taking off as you see the GPM chart, but Legion side does have a pretty overall comfortable lead here at 10 minutes in about.
Glacius invis here, but wait, if he stands into that mound, I think he can see the Tremble. He should be able to. I mean, even if he's invis, I mean...
Gonna see him there. As Andromeda middle lane. Okay, never mind. Gonna be fine. Dr. Pulsar, not much mana on him, so... Magnus just runs up to the mound, but all of a sudden Tremble's there.
I mean, if Glacius just comes over with his invisibility, it's an easy kill. Just stun an eruption. There's no really support nearby, but now Tremble sees the Swiftblade with the lane ward, and he's going to fall back instead.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they obviously realized that he was there, so just using the mounds for the invis purpose, and Certus was able to do so pretty effectively right there. Certus does have him out at the top lane. Nothing around the middle lane just yet, though, so we'll see if he gets up on that. Andromeda, by the way, and all the swap coming out, but Magnus will follow up with a stun, so Andro doing his best to escape.
And Dr. Pulsar is down here as well. They want more.
Magnus.
I wonder if they're going to be able to see him. They should know that he's there, but, I mean, obviously you don't want to dive too deep. You don't know where the rest of the reinforcements are. Actually, you can see the Shipper in the mid, so I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to actually dive that tower.
Fabelli is nearby, yeah. So Tremble does need to be a little bit careful here, but at the same time, as you point out, yeah, the Mal makes it a little bit extra difficult. In fact, they're going to run on the mound, but obviously they'll notice that he's ran away now, and Sarah just did a good job of making
top
a point
lane.
of that. Top lane, face hug in, and there's an easy kill to follow with Grinix there especially. So Cthulhu Font simply just trying to lane to get some kind of farm. Not really working out, though, unfortunately. Right there. So the kills continue. 11 hero kills in 12 minutes alone by my MRS right here.
Yeah, I wonder if the leading team is actually going to let this tower fall down here at the bot lane. I mean, they don't have too much of a choice. Here comes Ports in, though. Yeah, I figured they didn't want to give this one up this early on.
4 heroes. They really don't want to give it up. In fact, they may still get some kills out of this. Oh, Boris, can he get a net off? He should be able to. There we go. Hits Glacius. He's definitely dead. The rest, they just keep running. But the bottom tower goes down. So
oh, damn.
the whole point of porting in right there to defend the tower was basically forgotten. As actually now the chase continues, though, and Doctor goes down. So it doesn't hurt nearly as much, getting a couple of kills at least.
And the tower now for themselves as well. Unless Magnus has something to say about it with an eruption, but it's risky at the same time. Parasite is here with a face hack as well. Is that a buyback? Yeah, there are buybacks from the Hellborn team.
Oh, they got 1 kill out of it. Can they get more is now the question. The 1's all right, but 2 would be great. Chipper's getting caught right here. Swap out from Andromeda, though. Gonna even stay alive himself. That armor buff doing some work. Mitigating plenty of damage. It's not going to be enough for the end, though. It looks like he's getting pulled back in. Chipper, in the meantime, he's barely alive, but he will be able to run away. So they do take out Andromeda in the long run right there. However, now will they be able to push? In fact, they're still going. Sarah just gets caught. Double stun combination in the background, though. Dr. Repulsor gets bursted down by Grinix and Parasite, and now Switchblade's turn to fall as he tries to spin out, and a hat trick for different guy on Grinix. He's already level 11, by the way. His damage output right now, it is pretty ridiculous, as we see right there with another strike coming out. Almost trying to kill Cthulhu Font. Not going to be enough, though. Parasite goes down, and Grinix and Parasite may have dove it a little too much right here. He's going with the Illusory Assault, trying to get a kill. Yes, Magnus goes down right there as Dominator comes back in and helps secure it and save Grinix on top of that. And finally, the fight will come to a conclusion as they take out the tower. So the Legion team does ultimately finish on top of the fight there.
A crazy fight. It actually just continues to go. That was almost a really big play by Slaskadirt and Saint Rox there, almost getting the kills on the both Grinix and the Parasite. Unfortunately, not able to finish off the Grinix, and in return, Magnus goes down. But look at Slaskadirt's farm, by the way. It's not as impressive on the Gold Minute chart, but I mean, he's almost up to that level 11, and he's Portal Key. And I don't think the Legion team expect that Portal Key to come out this soon after all the pressure that they have put on. So that might be something that Hellborn team are looking to take advantage of. Like, just get a big eruption off and just turn the team fight around.
Yeah. And again, especially when this is one of those games where individual heroes aren't just flash farming, you know, creeps. This is a lot of hero farming going on, which is good ultimately. And yeah, they do have a decent lead once again, and GPR chart shows that. But exactly, you get that Portal Key on Magnus, you get a big eruption off, win a team fight, and all of a sudden you are, by all means, right back into this game. I mean, both teams definitely have quite a bit of carry presence, too. These are both teams that I would feel transition pretty well into the later game. So a start like this for the Hellborn side, not necessarily the most worrisome thing. There is that comeback potential, but as usual, not going to be easy by any means, as Tremble with that Thunderclaw. He's actually still looking for some kills, and you know, Tremble is one of those heroes, and I'll get to it in just a second, though. Its action will continue. Cthulhu Font going to trample away once again with a Kama Stun. He's going to be fine. In fact, going back in right here. They want to chase, but don't chase too far.
There's the Portal Key, by the way, onto Magnus. This might be the... Ah, never mind. It's too late.
Yeah. Damn. Way too late. That burst is just too much, man.
He's still going to go for it, though.
Is he? Yeah, no, Eruption's in right there, and here comes Dr. Repulsor flying in as well. They do get the kill on Andromeda. Grinix hitting very low. Grinix is going to bring them. No, the Swift Slash has cut through him, and they get the 3 kills in the end, so the Magnus Eruption does pay off right there. The Lava Surge going to be up in 1 second with the Portal Key.
Come on. Come on.
Oh, he's cut in the background. That's why. There we go. He stuns it. They get 1. Chipper's in trouble. Yo, he's just out of range of the Ghost Marcher use right there. And he might actually survive in the long run. I think he is. Swiftblade cannot continue to chase. And it's all said and done. Holy crap, though. 30 hero kills combined in 16 minutes.
Wow, that's 2 kills per minute. I don't think I've ever seen that high of a count.
It's up there with one of the more better ones, that's for sure.
Oh, Stardust is in trouble now as well. I mean, the tier 1 tower is nearby, though, so Andromeda got a port as well, so they need to kill him fast.
It just is not going to stop, is it? Tremble, he is going to fall.
Close one. Andromeda was porting in, like, fast response time, and the swap was not far away from actually completing. But well played by Hellborn team. And now comes the Grinix, though. There's no vision. Saintrox might be in a little bit of trouble. Nope.
They just don't want it to stop, man. They're just going to go, go, go. All right, we have to look at some things, though, because I am noticing a couple of things, and one thing I wanted to bring up, too. Codex, by the way, on Parasite. This is not an item we've seen a whole lot lately on Parasites. But this is a game that's just constant go-go action, so you think it makes sense here?
It's so hard to say. I think that, Puzzle Box is almost too good of an item to ignore, I feel. I mean, it just gives so much map control. But, of course, you are versus a Cthulhuphant. The Cthulhuphant's farm is really low, and he's not going to have a pull key for quite some time. And he could have already had Puzzle Box level 1 onto Parasite. He can still go for it and have that 500 extra damage burst, but I almost feel like Ghost Marchers should be something, or maybe he had. I actually split it up right now into that Codex. I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, there's still a little bit of a high greed in the item. Like, you have to make something happen because it's going to slow down, like, your mid to late game presence.
Yeah, it doesn't scale, obviously. Well, I mean, the leveling up, it is nice, and again, as I was talking about, it does do more benefit than simply damage upgrade, but there is that whole argument. Is it, will he level it up? I guess it's kind of that next question, right? He has a level 1 of it. Does he invest gold into continuing to level it up, or now does he go more of a standard build here?
I don't think so. It's not really that, cost efficient to upgrade it. For 3,000 gold, you get 400 magic damage. And then you get, for another 1k, you get plus 100. So it's not cost efficient in that way. You can just leave it in level 1. I think that's what's to be preferred in most cases.
Other thing I wanted to bring up was actually the idea of Tremble here. Now the game has kind of calmed down a little bit more once again, so the Thunderclaw, this is where it does make a little bit more sense, especially if you want to sit back and farm. But because of how much action was just constantly go there, I feel like, in an item we have not really seen in forever, is Helm of the Black Legion. It's just never picked up nowadays. Yet, for an early game where there's just a lot of action just constantly happening, it does feel like Helm of the Black Legion could have been a solid investment here. Is that something you could agree with, or do you just think Helm is just not that great?
It's gone from being, like, in previous seasons to be, like, that item that you always get to just never picked up anymore. And I think it's mainly because of just people realize that if you just have Steam Boots and Magic Vestment, like, you can survive quite a bit. And as long as you watch your positioning, you shouldn't get into that... you shouldn't require the Helm of the Black Legion, simply said. It's going to slow down your farm a lot. It could be efficient if you're taking those, like, kind of early team fights, of course. Like, a Zephyr, for example, always get a Helm of the Black Legion, but he's in the middle of the team fight at all times, and he's got a Whirlwinds to help him farm. So on him, it's a great item, but on Tremble, that doesn't really have the best farming potential otherwise. And Thunderclaw, of course, is so great with his passive that adds a second attack of their first. Now, Thunderclaw, I think it's too good to ignore.
All right, well, again, the Thunderclaw now definitely is helping as the game has calmed down a little bit. If we had 30 hero kills at 16 minutes into the game, we've only had 2 hero kills since then. It's been about, 4 or 5 minutes even. So, yeah, it's has slowed down, at least for how this game is concerned with the action level. And you see Tremble, the GPM is going back up a little bit, 390 gold per minute now. But so is the Hellborn team, to be fair. And again, it goes back to their side that they do have some carry potential with Doctor and the Swiftblade, who are doing decent. Doctor, in fact, the icon of the goddess, and especially in a game like this, that should prove to be a very powerful pickup. St. Rocks, by the way, I like his build. With the Plated Greaves into an Astrolabe here. Very aura-heavy items, and especially, again, the action-packed game we've had, it makes sense here. And the Abyssal Skull and Swiftblade. So, Hellborn team has their auras taken care of. As far as the Legion side goes, they don't have any auras currently. So that's a little bit of a concern.
The fact that oh wait, here comes a gank.
Yeah, here we go, but there is support. Here comes the eruption in the background. Trooper's in trouble. No, he didn't portal key though. Something stopped it on Magnus.
The Grinix ultimate.
Was it? Okay, the illusory assault stopped it then, and now Grinix, he's thinking about going back in. He will. Oh, God, that damage, man. 225 damage coming out, and the Nether Strike gets the kill. Magnus stuns in right there. Andromeda, she does have a swap though. You see the focus buffer being applied as well, so it's a good mitigation coming out from that. And now Swiftblade is going to start falling back. The face hug though on him. Grinix running in for the kill. One more auto attack. He gets pulled in now. And the Swift slashes and Grinix will fall. Parasite going back in for the kill though. One more auto attack needed from himself, but he's slowed. He tablets forward, gets that kill. Good tablet from his teammate. And they are starting to clean up now. Dr. Pulsar simply put on the run. I don't know. There comes the net, though. TP coming in. Can he ultimately escape? The freeze! Oh, my God! No, we cannot. The lead from Parasite. He will fall when it's all said and done. Magnus trying to escape now with the Steam Bath, but now the chase on him. However, the Glacial Downpour, they need to respect that, and they will with a quick tablet to stop it, and Treble is still going, and he secures the kill, and this fight is still not over. Guess who surprised? Nobody. Tremble He gets the kill on Glacius as well with Boris, but now he will fall victim to Dr. Repulsor, and the fight will ultimately, finally come to a conclusion. Seems like 5 hours later, but...
Pretty much. I'm not sure how Tremble actually had vision on Magnus.
I don't know either.
Like when he was chasing like that, I mean, he used the steam buff, and I felt like, it was way too long. Or, his out attack, the Tremble's out attack, if it's mid-air when Magnus actually uses the steam buff, then I could see it actually hitting, because, obviously it's a little bit of a delay on the steam buff, but that felt like it took way too long for his out attack to land, and somehow it seemed like he had invisibility, or whatever it's called, reveal. But alright, Legion team once again winning a dominant team fight, and look, a different guy up at the top lane. If he hits this stun and Shipper Rockets connect.
The combo of his abilities, but unfortunately the chainsaw was there a little bit late. The rocket does hit actually, but it still is not enough damage. So yeah, Grinix, he can do plenty, but unfortunately right there, just not enough. And it looks like he's going for a Shrunken Head build, by the way. Again, I was very curious to see what he would go for, but wants to be able to keep going in the fights, and it makes a lot of sense. You look at this Hellboard makeup here, and there's a lot of crowd control and magic damage in general, especially this early on. So speaking of Shrunken Head, Certus already finishing his now, so that's also good news for the Legion side. And Miara Russ, Veiled Rock King from Swiftblade. Ooh, he saw the Wild Hunter pickup, and actually he's going to be exposed right there. And so Parasite also realizing that, that he was nearby. In fact, going in for a kill. Can't get the kill himself, I wouldn't think. But there is a mount here. Swiftblade, he's going to go for the kill on it. That's a little risky, I think. Okay, he is going to kill it. But here comes Tremble anyways. As the support goes down in the background, now Swiftblade over the TP. He is going to be successful. All right.
It's only the Andromeda swap that can actually cancel that, as for now at least. Tremble is probably going to pick up a Brutalizer as next item, though.
Usually expect that, so. But again, in the meantime, Grinix picking off Glacius, and I assume Glacius has a lot of deaths. Yeah, 10 deaths. He has really had a troublesome time. We're only 23.5 minutes in early, and he already has 10 deaths, but with how action-packed we've been, it really doesn't surprise me. And how bursty this Legion team is. Chipper, Grinix, Parasite. Good luck dealing with that as a support.
There's no charges on the icon for Fibali either on the Dr. Repulsor. That's really unfortunate. He needs those. He desperately needs those if he wants to keep up in the farm with Certas, for example.
Yeah.
Oh, Grinix, though, he's running on top of a Water Revelation. They don't have any portal key on the Cthulhu, though, but they know he's here. There comes the dust.
Yeah, I was going to say, do they have dust? They answer the question pretty quickly right there, and Grinix, 4 heroes all of a sudden, just on top of him like that. So, again, he's been living life on the edge, as you would expect, but at the same time, that also is a little risky at times, and showing right there why. It's heads up with the Rev Ward, whether it was for counter warding or something to maybe scout the Grinix. It worked out there.
Yeah, but then look at Glacius' position as well. Like, he's trying to set something up. I'm not sure if he's trying to ward or if he's just trying to go in from behind. He's going to place a ward of sight at least, but it doesn't look like the Legion team are too interested in defending this. Tremble's already putting a lot of pressure onto the tier 2 tower at the bottom, so they are more than happy with a trade here.
Yeah, they'll be fine with that. Tremble is... I wonder if he is going to be able to take this out. Okay, there we go. There come the TPs. No invulnerability even used, just simply TPing in.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy almost. Maybe they felt forced that the tower was going to go down, but like you said, they had invulnerability, didn't they? I don't think it was...
Maybe? Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm wondering, too, if they just chose not to use it, or...
No, they haven't been using it. There hasn't been any towers under pressure at all, so I wouldn't believe so. So yeah, that was a little bit sloppy. I feel like if Doctor would have just ported to the base tower instead, then they could have easily set that kill up on Tremble, or at least made an attempt of it. But hey, they get the deny in the end, so I guess they are... It's always a good thing. Little Boris snatching a tower.
Yep. That's obviously a power Tremble too. He's got the mounds all over the map, and we just talked about how he got pushed back on the bottom lane. Well, he's top 10 seconds later, and he takes out that tower anyway, so gets something there. Staff of the Master already finished on Chipper, by the way. 400 gold per minute will do that for you. He is 7-0-13, so that's an impressive stat line right there.
That's really impressive, yes. And Staff the Master this early on, it's that's going to be really scary for a Helmer team. It makes him incredibly tanky as well, so you can't really focus the Shipper in the team fights, especially not when Andromeda is in the background, and you have Tremble to worry about as well, Glacius.
Well, Glacius no longer there, and that is now his 12th death of the game. Again, it is just a very, very troublesome game, and Glacius is is one of the more fragile supports, is safe to say, in the game. So, not friendly for him. Oh, 12
yeah, look at this. Swiftblade might be in trouble here. I think they have enough damage if Parasite assists with the Codex at least.
Yep, there comes the burst. The Codex did get off. Wasn't enough initially, but ultimately is enough to take him out right there. Cthulhu Magnus porting in. Magnus level 15, no level 3 eruption just yet. As the rockets flying through, Boris is going to catch Cthulhu. He already trampled, and he is in trouble. Not much more he can do right here. As, yep, he will be killed off in the end. Magnus stunned through, but just a little bit too late. The illusory assault coming out from Grinix, and once again, Glacius might be in trouble. No, he'll get back to the base and ultimately survive, but Legion team, they are going to port back, not going to force the secondary tower. They're just doing a great job now of really controlling the map around this Tremble especially, and letting him just do his thing as far as pushing towers and whatnot. So,
almost feel like they have to invest in a Boundai somehow for the Legion team, or for the Hellborn team. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Kitofan needs his pull key desperately at the same time to follow up on the Magma stun and his eruption, but I don't know. I mean, how are you ever going to be able to deal with the Grinix and all the map presence the Legion have without it? I mean, Glacius is suffering so much this game, like you mentioned, 12 deaths. Like, he cannot afford the wards, and he's getting outwarded big time by Andromeda. As you can see, I mean, they got full vision on them at all time. They can't farm at all. It's only Dr. Propulso that's currently getting any farm at all from the Hellborn team.
yeah, he's at the top lane right now trying to get some of that farm, and you see he's kind of hesitant to really start pushing up with the lane. And realizing that could put him in a very vulnerable spot, because again, that just goes to the makeup of this Legion side and how threatening they are with what they bring to the table. And speaking of that, Cthulhu this deep into his own jungle he can't even go into apparently, as he is found and gets killed right there. Middle tower, illusory assault used from Critics once again. Magma stunned in. That proved instantly to be the wrong decision. And now this tower is going to fall, so the lead is, you know, the gold lead's one thing, but a 21,000 experience lead at 29 minutes into the game. That is absurd how many levels they have on that.
That's an incredible amount. Parasite, by the way, did he go for... No, he went for the pull key instead. Patty in a very questionable decision here.
Oh, yeah, no, he's in a lot of trouble. He's probably going to fall. He pops with slashes just simply to live, if anything, the eruption. But once again, it was stopped. You know, Grinix is really proving to be a great counter to Portal Key. I mean, almost like a Sand Wraith, to be fair. Obviously, it's not global by any means, but he's positioning himself to make sure to at least be in range. What is the range? It's a 1,200 radius. So as long as they're within that range, it should ideally cancel any portal keys that happen, or be looking to be happening. So that's now twice now at least I've caught it happening.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about that as a portal key canceller, but it seemed to be very effective, at least in this series, or this game so far. At the same time, I think that it should be able, or you should be able to avoid it. I mean, 1,200 range, you should be able to channel the eruption out of that range, but at the same time, I mean, Slaskidirt is definitely not used to playing versus a Grinix, so it's definitely catching him off guard every single time.
Yeah. I think it's more to the credit of different guy than anything. Yeah, I don't think it's Sasuke's fault necessarily. I mean, it's not like his positioning's been bad. I mean, hell, right there, he was in his base basically at the racks, channeling up an eruption, and all of a sudden, an illusion runs in and hits him. So, but yeah, that's just really smart plays heads up from different guy here, I think. And again, goes back to showing the comfort that he has. And oh, Glacius, you are dead. He got the ward off at least, but
Yes, he did. That's probably going to be countered.
yeah, probably. Got to feel for him, and it is getting to a point where you got to wonder if Ringers might want to think about that good old concede button in the top right corner anytime now, because I don't think a comeback is fairly realistic at this point. Doctor's not doing too shabby, but again, Doctor's not necessarily a very threatening late-game comeback carry either, so I don't think that's really a whole lot to bank on there, unfortunately.
Nope, not really. I mean, if they would have had some kind of semi-carriers, or actually they do have the Swift Blade, but 250 gold per minute is just not going to be enough at this point. And the Shrunken Heads is going to negate so much damage for the Legion side. I mean, there's no way. I mean, how the hell do you kill the Tremble if you're the Hellborn team? I mean, you gotta hit him with the Hellflower and the Magnus Eruption, but hey, guess what? Andromeda has got a level 2 swap already, so that's not going to negate all of it.
Boris is even up here just kind of like, hey guys, what's up? I'm just speeding on Cthulhu, oh my me. And here come the chainsaws with that staff and the master effect. Glacius dead off the bat. Oh, big big eruption. Finally, a huge eruption for Sasuke, and it just could be the one that they needed. No, it's not in the end. Tremble just way too strong. The Shrunken Head was up, and he ultimately holds his ground. So, you really are not going to get better ultis than that from the Magnus this game, especially how difficult it's been. And that still wasn't nearly enough, as Tremble didn't get the Shrunken Head off in time. So.
Yeah, Sasuke is doing a great job, at least, at trying to keep the Hellborn team in the game. I mean, I feel like he's been playing really well throughout the entire game, but unfortunately, I mean, that tri-lane, that offensive tri-lane, did not end up working out, or it didn't work out very well. And after that, I mean, Shipper has just been having a real dominant performance as well as a different guy. I mean, you gotta look to blind ban these heroes in the next game, I feel. I mean, at least the Grinnex, unless you got some kind of plan to deal with it. Because he's just doing his thing, like, just constantly making sure that the Hellborn team cannot even enter their own forest. And look at it, I mean, St. Rock's just like, okay, I'm going to walk up here, but hey, a Boris, and I don't know where the rest of the team is. I got to trample out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nothing against Mar, and I'm not saying that it would have worked, but at the same time, you know, when even we, myself specifically as a caster, know that, yeah, Sertis plays a lot of Tremble, different guy plays a lot of Grinnex. You would think the other team would be at least aware of that as well. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they were, but, you know, being game one, maybe they figured, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's give them what they're very comfortable with. And not only that, but just a different style, though, something that you're not necessarily used to playing against all the time. Tremble maybe a little bit, but Grinnex not so much. I mean, it is still a very unplayed hero on the scene, at least right now. You got to think that now game two, as you're pointing out, at least, I honestly think both, and just ban both of the very comfortable heroes and go from there. Try to outplay them in the sense that you're just more comfortable with what you can bring to the table, but give them that very comfortable heroes, and I know there's action going on, but again, it's clear that this game is over at this point. So, but yeah, no doubt the draft is going to be a very interesting one, starting from the very beginning here of game number two. But there we go, it is official. GG, well played. Game one is victorious for Mir Russ over Ringers here in this best out of three. So, oh my god, I had a black screen the whole time. Anyways, you didn't win this much. Trust me. The game
has been over for 10 minutes at least, to say the least. Hellborn team was just desperately looking for some kind of attempt or some kind of ray of hope, but never came. Team effort, definitely for the Legion team. I feel like all of them played really well and solid. Executed the draft just as they were supposed to, and had a very offensive playstyle as well. I love to see that because I'm personally such a fan of just bringing the aggressive playstyle at all times. Just constantly look for those kills, and they did a wonderful job with it. So, game number two here. I would be a little bit scared if I'm Ringers.
Yeah, but